Roth conversions, they can feel like a golden ticket to a tax-free retirement. But here's the thing, they're also a minefield. One wrong step could cost you tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the 5 biggest mistakes people make, and, more importantly, show you exactly how to sidestep them.
And I'm not being dramatic here. Seriously, stop. A single wrong move can unleash this storm of unexpected tax bills and send your Medicare premiums clean through the roof. What we're about to cover isn't just advice. It could literally save you a small fortune.
So what's the real cost of getting this wrong? Well, take a look at this number, $22,000. That's the average amount a single, simple mistake on a Roth conversion can cost a retiree. It's painful, and you'd be surprised how common it is.
Let me tell you about a real person, Sarah. She thought she was being really smart, But one single lump sum conversion ended up costing her over $12,000 in extra unnecessary expenses. As we go, you'll see exactly where it all went wrong for her.
Okay, so just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly is a Roth conversion? It's really simple. You're just moving money from a pre-tax account, like your traditional IRA, over to a post-tax Roth IRA. The big deal? You pay the income tax now on whatever you move, and in return, that money gets to grow and be withdrawn completely tax-free later. That's the dream, right?
And this quote from renowned CPA Ed Slott, well, it gets right to the heart of the problem. He says the biggest mistake is treating this like a one-shot deal. See, the key isn't just if you convert, but how. It is all about having a multi-year strategy. Let's break down exactly why.
All right, first trap on our list is what I call the bracket buster. This is what happens when you get a little too ambitious, convert too much money in a single year, and accidentally launch yourself into a much, much higher tax bracket. Ouch.
So here's that multi-year strategy in action. It's a perfect illustration. On the left, you see a couple convert 150 grand all at once. Bam! That huge income spike pushes them way up into the expensive 22% tax bracket. But look at the right. By simply spreading that same conversion out over 3 years, they stay safely in the much lower 12% bracket.
And just look at the difference that simple change in strategy makes. By spreading it out, they saved over $3,000 in federal taxes and dodged potential Medicare hikes. It's the same goal, just achieved for a much lower cost.
Now for the next mistake. This one is way stealthier, and it hits you in a place most people don't even think to look: your healthcare costs. We call it the Medicare tax bomb, because a Roth conversion can directly and dramatically increase your premiums.
This right here is what's known as the IRMAA cliff. And yeah, it's as scary as it sounds. Here's how it works. Medicare looks at your income from 2 years ago to set your premiums. A big conversion can easily shove you over one of these critical income thresholds, and as you can see, it's not a gentle slope. It's a cliff. Your premiums can jump a lot overnight. And this is precisely the trap our friend Sarah fell into. Her $80,000 conversion launched her income right over that IMAA limit. The price tag? Almost $7,000 in extra Medicare surcharges spread out over 2 years. That's a huge and totally avoidable expense. Okay, mistake number 3 is the depleted conversion. This one isn't about how much you convert, but, and this is so important, it's about how you pay the tax bill on that conversion.
Let's look at this. On the left, the taxes are withheld directly from the conversion money. This is a classic double whammy of a mistake. First, less money actually goes into the Roth to grow tax-free. And second, if you're under 59.5, that money they withheld is treated as an early withdrawal, which triggers a painful 10% penalty. The right way, the only way, is to pay that tax from a separate, non-retirement account.
And the long-term impact of that one decision? It's staggering. By paying the tax from savings, not only do you sidestep the penalty, but the Roth IRA ends up with over $60,000 more in tax-free growth after 25 years. That is a massive difference. Which brings us to mistake number 4, the timing trap. See, it's not just about how you convert, it's also about when. Converting in the wrong year, especially a high-income year, can be a really costly error. For a lot of retirees, there's a golden window for conversions. It's those years right after you stop working, but before you have to take those required minimum distributions. On the left, someone does a conversion while they're still working, pushing their tax rate higher. But by simply waiting until retirement when their income naturally drops, the exact same conversion gets taxed at a much, much better rate.
And that simple act of just waiting 12 months, it's saved them
$100,000 in taxes on the exact same amount of money. It's all about timing your conversion to land in your lowest income years.
And finally, we've got mistake number 5, a cost that's hiding in plain sight: state income taxes. It's funny, people get so focused on the federal tax bill, they completely forget about this part.
Just look at this table. It shows the massive difference your location can make. A $100,000 conversion in a high-tax state like California, that could trigger a state tax bill of over $9 grand. But if that same person waits until after they move to a no-tax state like Florida, poof, that entire state tax bill just vanishes.
That's a $7,500 savings just by aligning the conversion with relocation plans. So if a move is part of your retirement picture, this is an absolutely critical piece of the puzzle you can't ignore.
Okay, so we've seen the 5 biggest mistakes that can trip you up. Now for the good part. How do you do this the right way? Let's walk through a simple, super effective action plan. Okay, so here's your playbook. It's 4 steps. First, figure out your budget. How much can you convert each year and still stay in a low tax bracket, like 12%? Second, check those Medicare income cliffs before you do anything. Third, have the cash ready to pay the tax bill from a totally separate account. And finally, the golden rule. Repeat this process. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. All right, so here is your action checklist. Things you can literally do this week. First, calculate your conversion budget for 2025. Then, check your income against those Medicare limits. Third, confirm you actually have the cash sitting somewhere to pay the tax. And most importantly, map out your income for the next few years. Find that golden window before you hit age 73. You know, the difference between a smart conversion strategy and a costly mistake, it can easily be over $50,000 during your retirement. It definitely requires some planning, but the payoff is just enormous. So, that really leaves just one question for you. Looking at your own retirement timeline, what's your first step?